Mozzarella, one of the best cheeses in America and possibly the world. You can slice it, dice it, bake it, fry it. It's a jack of all trades. One of those trades being is that it's really easy to make at home. First, we're going to start with buying the cheese curd. I'm not making my own curds because that's insane and I don't have time for that. Luckily, I'm from New York City where I can find anything I want any day of the week. So from here, we're going to start by breaking up our cheese curds. I'm using a wire rack from a half sheet tray. You can use a knife or your hands. It doesn't really matter as long as the curds are broken up into tiny pieces. After they're broken up, you want to season your curds. You want to use plenty of salt because the last thing you want is having your perfect mozzarella ball, cutting into it, taking a bite, and it tastes like nothing. All that hard work for nothing is annoying. Season your curds, and right before we start getting ready to make the mozzarella, get a pot of water on the stove. You want more water than cheese curd, so measure accordingly. I have 1.5 pounds of curd, so I have like, I don't know, 2 quarts, 3 quarts of water. I did season my water. I added some salt to it. You don't have to if your curds are well seasoned, but I'm just a salt freak. So you want 3 containers. 1 with your cheese curd, 1 to drain the water from the cheese curd. You're gonna see in a bit. And then the 3rd container you wanna have, I'm using water because I don't have milk and I don't wanna buy milk. But whole milk in the 3rd container, like a nice room temperature whole milk, will be perfect to dipping the mozzarella balls into. I hate milk, so I don't want it. So I'm just using room temperature water. And if you're as crazy as I am, you can use water as well. It's okay. Your mozzarella balls will be fine. So once you start pouring in the hot water onto the curds, you don't add too much. Remember, this is boiling water and the cheese curds can separate and just become a sloppy mess, and it's really hard to bring it back together. So you want to just gently cover the curds with the water. I'm using a pair of tweezers. You can use a spoon, you can use a fork. I've seen people use a fish spatula. You just want something to push through the cheese and kind of mix it together. So what you want to do, you want to fold the mozzarella into itself. You don't want to stretch. You're not showing off to a bunch of people. You want to gently fold the cheese onto itself. And once you get it where basically the curds have combined, then you want to drain off that excess water. You don't need it. It did its job and now it's just in your way. So drain it off. This is where I use the fish spatula. You want to drain it off, but you want to keep as much curd into your bowl as possible. So once you have your mozzarella ball, you want to gently put it into the bowl or the container of milk that you have. In this case, it's water, and you want to gently put it in. Remember, the ball is still warm, so still settling on itself, so it's gonna deflate. So you want to gently put it in the milk/water and kind of form it onto itself, and then kind of once it's cooled down, then you can gently drop it in and let it hang out in there. So I'm going to repeat that 2 more times, and once the cheese is ready, we're going to get to the tomatoes. So here I've got some beautiful heirloom tomatoes, which I'm gonna do something pretty cool with them in the next episode. But basically it's the end of summer, so it's basically the end of tomato season here in New York City, at least. So I got these last minute, and they're pretty expensive. So next time, don't wait as long as I did. Get them towards like early August, middle August. Don't wait until the last week of September to get heirloom tomatoes. These are beautiful tomatoes, and you want a really sharp knife to cut these because they're very juicy inside. So if your knife is not sharp, a lot of the tomato juice is gonna seep out, and you're gonna hate yourself for it because that's where all the flavor is. If you don't have a sharp knife, which I know a lot of people that don't, a serrated knife works just as well. Get yourself a nice serrated knife, cut your tomatoes as thin as you can. Don't go crazy. If you have a deli slicer, even fucking better, trust me. And what you want to do after you slice your tomatoes, you want to add a little bit of salt to it. Tomatoes need salt. And for the people who don't like tomatoes, you haven't had an heirloom tomato at peak season. It is fucking amazing. So here you just want to fan out your sliced salted tomatoes however you want. It doesn't matter. I got some basil leaves that I already picked, and I'm just plating my mozzarella ball in the middle. I'm adding olive oil on top, some Maldon salt, black pepper, and a little bit of red wine vinegar. Basil for garnish and obviously for flavor. And here you have a tomato mozzarella salad that you're gonna really love because you made it yourself. Tastes so much better when you put in the work, and at the end of it, you taste it, it blows your mind, and it's even more satisfying when you have a friend taste your food. It like the smile on their face is just, it's worth every single second of it. That sounds mad gay. Thanks for watching Grated Garlic. There was no garlic in this episode, but I promise you in the next episode there will be lots of it. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and again, thank you.